Alright, quick repair video here on the Coyote catch pole. We're going to do a quick breakdown of time spent and material costs, final cost to the customer. Should be a quick and easy project. You can see what we have going on down here. Every time they try to put one of these Carolina Coyotes in it, it gets bent. That's not really good. We're hoping we can just reinforce it by contouring some rod around on both, on either side of this, and that will secure it up. We're going to jump right in it, guys. Let's get it. Alright guys, so first thing we're going to do, we're just going to take this little piece of TIG wire we got left over and we're going to contour it around, kind of get our shape, and then we can figure out exactly how much length we need from that. Alright, that'll give us a good starting point on our length, and then we can go from there with the rest of it on that side. Kind of fine tune it. Let's flip it over. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, now we can just straighten them out. We know our two lengths, then we can contour them again. Alright, from the Coyote pole to the Coyote pole 5000. Quite a bit of difference. I think this will be a lot stronger. Obviously. Hit it on both sides. All the way around. Just want to make sure it ain't going to give them any more problem. At least from anything I did. So that's pretty much it. Just contoured the rod. It was a little bit challenging to get the rod to lay flat because I didn't want the pieces to warp a lot when I've actually welded it up. So once I got it kind of bent in the shape I wanted, we had a little bit of misalignment on the contours. So the way I got around doing that was actually clamped everything really tight down to this flat table, heated it back up and let it cool back down. That kind of relieved all the tension, you know, in the metal, and that allowed it to lay pretty flat. So then we just needed to weld it up. It's pretty basic at that point. Took quite a bit more time than I really anticipated it would first looking at it. That was 3/8 rod. We were debating between that and a 1/2 inch, and I ended up going with a 3/8, and I'm glad I did, because I mean it was tough to get that stuff to bend as it was. So I really don't think this will give them any more problem. Yeah, should be in good shape. Alright guys, so we want to talk for a minute about our time that we ended up with in this project. As usual, you should err on the side of caution and always expect it to take more time than you initially thought. We ended up with about an hour into forming the 3/8 rod in their correct orientation to fit the part. You know, a little bit thicker than what I anticipated and a little bit harder to move it. So I ended up having to heat it up for each different bend. You know, that took quite a bit of time to do that, and then just massaging it into place. Then once we did, because we don't have any way to bend it, you know, absolutely consistent on the same plane, it ends up with slight distortions. And for something that you want to end up being flat, we had to relieve it with heat again, and then, you know, give that time to cool down. So really we ended up with about an hour total in fabricating the two pieces, and then for the actual welding time we ended up with about an hour and a half in that. Some pretty thick stuff there, having to take the time and let it cool and not let it warp in between. So again, just always we should be planning for more time than what we think it's going to take, because ultimately it's going to take us more time. So it ended up taking us about 2.5 hours to complete the project at $100 an hour. That's $250 to the customer. This particular pole started out as $185 shipped to the house, and to have to do a $250 repair to a $185 piece, you know, I just didn't feel good about passing that much along to the customer. Using it as a learning experience for me, whereas going forward I can recommend to, you know, a customer, if I'm quoting them on something and I see that it's going to be more than what the piece is worth, you know, we just need to try to shift gears, figure out a different solution to the problem, maybe swap the one that's already built to take what we're doing, versus trying to fix this one that we know is kind of underwhelming already. So, you know, he's a friend. I'd have done it for him anyway, you know, just to help him out. But I need to be able to price the job out where it's worth it for the end customer. I think that's important when we're trying to do stuff for people, is to make sure that they're actually getting the value out of it that we are intending to give them. All right, guys, so that's going to about do it for this one. I appreciate you following along with the video. Give us a like down below if you enjoyed it. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you can follow along with future videos, and we'll catch you on the next one. God bless.